What's up, Sagittarius? This is going to be your money, abundance, finance, work, career, income, all that stuff, all that sector, second house, Taurus sector in the natal chart that we all have. So feel free to cross watch if you're a Sag or not. Part two to this reading is going to be uploaded on the Patreon. Guys, as always, feel free to like, share, follow, comment. It really helps. It means the world. The Patreon is only $3 a month. Well worth it. You're voting with your dollar for good. You're raising the vibe of the tribe, and you're allowing me to continue to put out great energy into the ether. What else can I say? One-on-one readings are $2 a minute, or pre-written questions are $5 a question over email or text. The one-on-one readings could be done, whatever's most convenient for you, over video, phone, chat, messenger, whatever live kind of outlet you want to use. What else? Follow Instagram and TikTok, Running on Tarot, also Facebook and Twitter. I also, provide financial advice. If you want to talk, crypto, NFTs, stock trading, we could do kind of a session, at the same rate, $2 a minute, or spiritual advice without the tarot cards, $2 a minute. But again, a regular tarot one-on-one reading is only $2 a minute, well worth it. Like I said before, subscribe to the Patreon. You get exclusive access to part 2 of the love and money readings and whatever special bonus exclusive content that I put up on there. The Patreon is worth a look. You also get reduced reading rates for subscribing members, so feel free to do that. That's well worth it. Sagittarius. Okay, Spirit of Gratitude, your love and light, highest possible messages for Sagittarius. We're talking abundance, we're talking money, wealth, financial well-being, work, and all that stuff. Let's see what wants to come out for you. Okay, we got the Justice card. This is the Sword of Truth here, the crown of the ego. I think this is speaking to a healthy ego. The number 11, obviously a spiritual number associated with 1111, Make-A-Wish, adds up to the 2 in numerology. This is about duality, balance, finding, your harmony and your rhythm. You could be worrying about, where money's coming in from. Don't feed or fan the flames of worry. I mean, I think it's good a little bit to have a game plan, but at the end of the day, you're gonna want to sit in meditation. You're gonna want to be present. You're gonna want to stick to your routine and trust, that all else will come through. You can only really do what you can do. Everything else is not up to you. Like Andre 3000 said, you could plan a pretty picnic, but you can't predict the weather. So, just some food for thought. Happy Thanksgiving, by the way, Sag. This is being recorded on Thanksgiving Day, so just letting you know, trying to get this out to you before the month of December so you could hopefully usefully apply it. The scales of Libra are featured here. I always like to say that the heart and the mind are being weighed. The heart is the emotional self, the mind is the intellectual self. Again, you don't want one necessarily ruling any which narrative that you're kind of outlooking as far as your kind of waking state reality. The fulcrum in the middle, to me, I always interpret as like presence. Again, objectivity, a la the High Priestess. You're kind of viewing your thinking and your feeling and your emotive self, your emotional body, your habits, even from a higher self, your thinking patterns. It's from this kind of vantage point that you're able to basically become familiar with the blank emptiness, the canvas, the void, the vacuum, that which has no qualities of our 6 senses. This is source, and this kind of blank canvas is meant for us to kind of create within and project into. So you really have a lot more control over, the kind of thinking self and the emotive self, the emotional self. For instance, if you do find yourself falling into this frequency or channel of worry or overthinking, you got to kind of be able to have a part of you, an instance or an aspect of you, remain objective enough to understand that it's just a radio station. It's just a radio station that your mind has been familiar with tuning into. And one of my kind of tricks of the trade is to tune into the equal and opposite. So instead of worrying, it's the opposite of worry: trust and confidence. Okay, I know it sounds like we're throwing darts at the wall, but Sagittarius, you're as good as anyone that's able to do that out of the zodiac signs. And we all have Sagittarius in us, in the sense that we're talking 9th house in the astrological natal chart, and we all have the houses 1 through 12, which have ruling zodiac signs. So, for me, saying to you, hey, look, throw the dart at the wall of abundance, confidence, trust, faith, hope, longevity, sustaining power. These are ethics and values that you really want to abide by, regardless of what the external kind of provisions are or what's being brought to you externally, because it means to some extent that you are kind of self-generating wealth and abundance. And whenever you could do that, then that's real long-lasting, tried and true staying power. And there is value there. There is value there in consistency. Let's see what else wants to come out here. I'm trying to think if there's anything else. So one thing that I've been speaking to as far as the Justice card is not having this sense that you have to balance the scales yourself necessarily, especially if you find that somebody's done you wrong, maybe gossiping behind your back, or maybe you've just stolen something, or obviously again the practical steps. But when we try to get into the kind of negative karmic ugliness of tit for tat, or an eye for an eye, then again that too is lowering our vibration. There is much to be kind of joyous and happy about always, even if you're just kind of looking at the sun, or enjoying just life and how incredibly amazing it is. A lot of the times this Nine of Swords, this is all man-made. I mean, quite literally, swords are man-made. Thinking, logic, reason is man-made by culture, but you could start to cultivate your own culture. You could start to bring kind of value and kind of balancing of the scales of what it is that you're actually kind of weighing. Okay, the scales are a metaphor for what objects of worth and value that you're weighing. So you really do want to give all your energy and attention to gratitude and thankfulness. Thanksgiving is obviously that season to do so, and it's not there just for the sake of being there in the kind of old monotonous way. The kind of new traditional like quantum ways, again, seeing and vibing with everything as frequency, and quantum potential and possibility. So when you do keep your vibration in a state of thanks and gratitude without expectation tacked on the back end, then again you're able to kind of operate at that frequency. Okay, it's like tuning into a radio station for the great music. You're not tuning into it for any other reason, just for the kind of substance in and of itself. So it's kind of like that. And then of course, if there is some kind of external manifestation, I think in the practical 3D realm, yes, those higher frequencies will allow you to make better decisions in alignment with those higher frequencies. Okay, like attracts like. The Four of Cups is coming out of an emotional, lack of receptivity, maybe being closed off. So I think you're being open to any and all offers, any and all suitors and takers, especially at this kind of time, maybe in your life, to the extent that if you feel like you were abandoned, or you feel like you were let down, or I'm not getting a sense of desperation. I'm getting more so a sense, Sagittarius, is an understanding of worth and value. And I think that the real people that are really for you in your life are kind of showing themselves and stepping up to show their support. And this is giving you a lot of kind of like a new outlook on your own self-worth and your own ability, and understanding that you do matter, obviously, and you do make a difference. So, the Magician is running off of belief. Obviously, our belief is able to prosper and sustain if we see progress in our directions of our goals and our dreams and our desires and our ambitions. So you just want to keep on chipping away. And, obviously I always recommend the flow of things with the Magician. Let's see if there's anything to be expected as far as like, what's coming to you in the month of December in regards to abundance and finances and money, work, jobs, and career, and all that stuff. We're going to finish that over on part 2 in the Patreon, specifically what's coming into Sagittarius' world as opposed to what you're putting out there. So link below for part 2 over on the Patreon. I'm going to see you on the flip side. I'm going to record part 2 as soon as I hit stop and pause and play again. So as always, if this is where we leave off, holler at your boy for a one-on-one reading. Like, share, follow, subscribe, comment. It really makes a world of difference, Sagittarius. I hope you're able to get something from this reading, and I'll see you right now over on part 2 on the Patreon. Link below. Holler.